If you're feeling stuck in life, I'm going to give you yet another thing that you can look at and weigh for yourself if you need to make this change. It's something that I've recently gone through, and I've executed through this principle, and it has already given me so much more energy, so much more lust for life and direction, and I want to share this with you guys. But before we get into this, let me give you a little story. So all through my life, I've basically let outside situations determine who I spend my time with. If someone gave me just a little bit of the time of day, I'd spend time with them. And that's okay. You need that time to figure out what kind of person they are and if you want to continue spending time with them. So in the initial stages, it's okay, but there has to be a time when you have to weigh if they're adding to your life or taking away, making you feel more energized or stealing that energy from you like an energy vampire. So without further ado, let's go into this video where I explain the situations where you can govern this for yourself and make sure that you're going to progress in life instead of go downhill. So let's get into it. So these are the 4 things I think about when I decide the people that I'm going to spend my time with. So the first thing I want to get into is basically the core fundamental idea of this whole thing. And it's your environment really influences you. So if you're around people that don't fuck with the things that you want to accomplish, they really affect your energy, and they're just a bad influence. Maybe they do drugs all the time and drink all the time and are just like naturally negative and looking at the negative side of things. You need to govern that, because that will influence your every being. Everything you do, it's going to influence. And sometimes it's the people that you love the most, even your family. Fortunately for me, my family really inspires me to be better and to be in a higher vibration. Sometimes things happen, and there's situations in life and it brings people down, but you see that. You see it's just a situation that's temporary, and you help them get back up to that high vibration because you're already in it, and then everyone wins. The influence that your environment puts out, it's not always loud, and it's not always a, oh my goodness, I need to change my environment. A lot of the times it's very subtle, and you don't realize it until it gets bad. And that's what happened to me. I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until it got really bad. I had an idea, but I thought it was just my random thoughts. You get random negative thoughts come out, and you sometimes overthink things. And it's like, this could be a problem, but I'm not sure. Sometimes it takes it going from a subtle situation where you're like, oh, that wasn't conducive to my progress as a man. And then it gets really loud, and you're like, okay, fuck this, I need to end it. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it happens like that. But really keep that in mind. Let's get a change of scenery, and we'll finish the 3 other things I want to tell you guys about this. Peaceful environment. Nobody out here except for the waves and nature. So the second thing I want to give you guys, hopefully you guys can hear me over the waves, is the slow drag. The slow burning drag that most of the time you don't notice. And this usually happens in comments of people saying, oh, you're too much, you've changed too much, anything kind of like that. And if you notice that, you need to distance yourself from that person at least. And the only way
to really get by this is to create that distance, and then also have in your mind that people are like crabs in a bucket. If someone's trying to get out and rise above, they pull you down to their level because it feels uncomfortable for them. So it's on them, and it's a natural thing that humans do because no one wants to feel uncomfortable. And when you're trying to change, you know, it causes people to do that. And you should never feel less of yourself and who you want to be and let that discourage you just because people think too small. You need to allow yourself to think big and not put limits on the person that you want to be and the things you want to accomplish. So don't let the slow drag affect you. So the third thing that you need to keep in mind is the internal conflict. And this is what I have the most trouble with. It's a dynamic of you being loyal to that person that you're spending time with versus the fact that you feel like you're not growing anymore and you're staying in one spot spinning your wheels and life is passing you by. Now when this happens, you need to keep in mind that guilt starts to form because of the fact that you're outgrowing the relationship and dynamic of being with the certain person. So if you feel guilty in ways of, I feel guilty because I'm leaving this person, or feel guilt in any weird way, just look at that circumstance. Are you outgrowing that person or the dynamic of the relationship? And a lot of the times you are, and sometimes you have to just figure out things. But if you try to figure something out and talk in a reasonable manner, and you share your opinions on the side, and the other person just can't hear your opinions, and you can't come to a middle ground, that shows that you've just outgrown that person and the relationship dynamic, and you need to move on for yourself and for the other person. And that's the biggest internal struggle that most men face, and women too, but I find a lot of guys are just stuck in that spot because guys think very logically and girls tend to think a lot more on the emotional side. And the last thing you need to realize is not everyone is born to go with you to the top or the next level. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that they're not aligned with you in your life path that you're pursuing. Your growth as a man requires space. It requires solitude. Being able to go out, just like I am right now, and film this video by yourself, form more ideas, more thoughts in your head, come up with more solutions and more understanding to situations and problems in life. And sometimes you have to walk away for yourself and for that other person in order for both of you to grow. Hopefully the other person grows with their solitude as well, but you know deep down inside that you're ending this relationship, you're ending this tie to this other person because you want more for yourself. And it's like a fish in a small pond. It can't grow anymore until you move it to a bigger pond. And that's the same idea. It's the same principle, except on an emotional, spiritual level for a man and for women too. So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you guys are going through a similar situation, you feel stuck in life and you have a thought or you have skepticism that it could be because of someone that's in your life that's holding you back, use these 4 tips that I have told you today to better navigate the situation and do what's right for you. So if you like this video, click a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, because I put 2 videos out every week. You don't want to miss them. Boom! Let's keep booming this shit. See you guys in the next one.